kick off the discussion, Dina, what do you see the role of AI and machine learning in agriculture, especially in Africa and developing world?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And the developing world, especially Tanzania, is really a resource constrained setting. Therefore, we really see the opportunity of machine learning leapfrogging in developing low cost solutions to improve the productivity in the sector. Research has proven, and in other developing world countries already use tools in machine learning for agriculture. For it has a very potential role to improve the productivity of agriculture in Africa. Especially when we talk about agriculture, it means crop and livestock farming. Therefore, we really see machine learning playing a critical role in developing low cost solutions for crop diseases detection. And also, it is equally possible for developing tools, smart tools for weed identification, land classification, and as developing world, we have the opportunity as well in developing tools for smart agriculture. For example, fruit counting for yield prediction, and developing tools for robotic harvesting. So really, machine learning has a critical role on developing tools for agriculture in Africa, resource constrained countries in Africa. Yeah.
Thank you, Dina. And I like the point that when you stressed on the low constrained society and how important to use tools so that we can maximize little resources that we have. So moving on to the framework and regulation. Should there be framework to regulate the entire use case of agriculture, AI in agriculture, especially in Africa and the rest of the world? Because what happens when humans deliberately lose control of machines? So, there's such kind of speculation. Yeah.
Yes, it is important to have regulations on AI, since all these use cases that we positively talk about of what AI can do really need to be regulated. And since they affect the whole ecosystem, humans, humankind, livestock. So the whole ecosystem is affected by the AI applications. So it's very crucial to have regulations. And conducting research in our context is very important because produce evidence for these regulations to be to be in place. You need evidence, you need data of how these models perform in developing world in order to have the regulations in place. So research as well plays a very critical role towards having AI regulations in Africa. And I really want to stress on this point to encourage more researchers in Africa in AI to produce the data that will form a critical role in producing the regulations. Regulations are critical, yeah. Especially the fact that in Africa we have a bigger portion of the population in small scale production in agriculture or even an industry. So the issue of their jobs being taken away really has to be addressed very well when forming the regulations, and especially addressing that is not the case, but AI will help them be more efficient and therefore scale up from being small scale to large scale. That is the opportunity which is there for the farmers. But really, regulations have to be in place. and research will definitely address this to produce evidence that's needed to form the regulations.
So yeah, I agree with you. We need enough research, especially in the context of a developing country and Africa. Can you comment on what do you think is the current situation regarding research in AI, especially in the field of agriculture? Because we need the data to be able to make the police, especially the informed police. And you stressed on the point that we need to have enough research on Africa. So, can you comment regarding the state of research on AI, especially in agriculture?
Yeah, the field is very active and green when it comes to AI in agriculture. And we have great support from funders in this regard. And really want to acknowledge the research that I'm aware of. Very active in at Makerere University, which focuses on cassava diseases diagnostics. They work closely with the with the National Research Institute on Crop Research, and they've been able to produce evidence that helps in detecting the various cassava diseases. Well, we also had research active in Tanzania on cassava diseases detection using TensorFlow Lite, and it is also it has a very big impact, enabling farmers to detect crop diseases using images of leaf images. You are able to detect the white fly and count them when it comes to cassava diseases. And the work I'm doing on poultry diseases diagnostics, where we expect a farmer to take an image of a chicken dropping and determine whether it has it has any of the three diseases that we are modeling on. And I really see this being potential to be extended even to other livestock diseases that affect cows or sheep or goats. So it is work that has potential to be extended to other animals as well. Yeah. So, and we have different initiatives taking place through startups as well on agriculture. We have the Grow Agro Alliance in Kenya that has recently won a very big grant uh, also on AI for agriculture. Yeah.
Thank you for that insights, Dina. I wanted to ask regarding now the training data set, because oftentimes these challenges regarding the training data set for the models in this field, do you think there is enough published data set that can be used by scholars and other researchers to improve the existing studies, and are these models developed so that we can be able to like benchmark and say that okay, now I've developed this model which has this accuracy where I can compare with the other. I know it's a challenge having data in the open, but I just wanted to ask regarding that.
Okay. Thank you for the question, Mahadia. And really, it is timely because we really have strong initiatives ongoing to have equitable data sets that are not biased. It's really the big topic in the AI community. And I'm really glad that organizations have taken this up actively and are really working towards the addressing the issue of bias and equitable data sets for use by machine learning researchers and practitioners to really represent the context of the users. And I know of Lacuna Fund, for which I'm a member of the steering committee. It is an organization, it is an initiative that seeks to mobilize labeled data sets that solve urgent problems in low and middle income contexts globally. And the Lacuna Fund really presents an opportunity for African researchers and innovators to locally develop and own the data sets, and and eventually be able to have these data sets to build AI applications in the African context. The Lacuna Fund has already awarded um, the winners of the call in the agricultural track, where these researchers and innovators are going to mobilize data sets in the agriculture sector representing the African context. So we really see these data sets, once they become available, they will definitely allow innovations in the AI for agriculture sector. So these data sets will all be available on open access. Yeah. And they have more calls coming on the language data sets and also the health sector. Yeah.
Thank you. I see the future is bright, and I
Definitely.
like such kind, and I like such kind of initiatives, because yeah, they are important. We need to be able to have a benchmark data set so that we can do comparison, especially as researcher. So since today is International Women's Day, and understanding the role of female farmers, especially in Africa, you know that large population of female engage in agriculture. So, what do you think should be or is the role of female data scientists in the agriculture space?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for the question, Mahadia. It really is indeed our day today. And I really want to encourage more data scientists, female data to come into the data scientist field. It's very live, the community is very supportive, and the role of women data scientists in agriculture is really to encourage other women, help them reach their goals. We have the poultry sector that I'm working on is predominantly women, and when you go to the field, um, the farmers, the smallholder, the women, female farmers are more comfortable to share or even to respond to the interviews when asked by a female data scientist. So the cases is really a gender sensitive sector, because for instance, the way we aim to deploy our solution on mobile. But when you visit these households, normally the mobile phone owner at the household is normally a male. So having the female to use the phone of a man who is normally not at the house most of the time, it can be challenging. So there are those parity issues that need gender issues that need to be addressed when you are on the field. So it really takes a female data scientist to conduct this research with a female farmer. So we really have a critical role. And at times when you visit these farms, these households, farming households, even responding to the questionnaire, a female is more comfortable to respond to a female researcher than a male. So we really have a critical role to address, especially on the field. in order to even encourage the utilization of the tools that we aim to develop. And also, when you go also to the fintech sector at small scale level, where we have most of these groups being by female. So even you have, if you have a fintech solution, even for women in agriculture, there are more, the likelihood of adoption of these tools makes more sense when they are presented to these female farmers by a female data scientist. So we really have a critical role to play, and I really want to call on board more female to do on this field. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you because I know on the field and data collection process, especially in Africa, that connection that we could have female to female, most of the time they're being trusted in the society. So you touched on the data, and I wanted to ask one thing. What language did you use to create the data set and the model?
Yeah. Thank you, Mahadia. And we collected the data using the Open Data Kit tool, which we hosted on Google Drive to collect the data set, and we eventually moved on the data set that we collected. We moved it on to Zenodo after we hosted it on Zenodo platform after the annotation was completed. And for the modeling, we currently use the Keras framework, which has a backend of TensorFlow, and we aim to really continue on this, especially on deployment, because TensorFlow Lite has lower computational capacity and can be served on Android smartphones. So we definitely going to do the deployment on using TensorFlow Lite, which the coding which is done on using Python, basically. Yeah.
Okay. And when did you start to collect the data, the image, especially the image data about the chickens?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. I remember I highlighted that data collection is really labor intensive, time consuming, and expensive task. We have done the work in a period of 1 year now, and it was done periodically. For instance, for the Newcastle disease, for which we are currently finishing the annotation, we started on it since last year in September, and the trials did not work twice. It's only when we did it for the third time that we were successful, and we were not able to because the disease is lethal. Chickens die in three once the disease is out the farm. Chickens die in a span of 3 days or 2 days. And for the other data set for salmonella, it took us about a month up to two to collect a total of 1,000 images, and our target was 2,000. So we had also to find another period of 2 months within the year to collect the other 1,000 images. And for the healthy and coccidiosis, those ones we collected the data at farm level. We went to the different farms and we were able to collect the data set. And the farms were distributed in Arusha and Moshi. So it took us a span of about 4 months to complete for 4,000 images. Yes. The annotation process also was equally time consuming. Yeah. So we've done the whole work roughly in a period of 1 year. Yeah.
Great. Indeed, I mean, a lot of resources have been invested in. I wanted to
Exactly.
know, are you planning to share this data open, or is this data shared currently open?
Yeah, it is currently on open source, and we have already hosted the 6,400 images on Zenodo. Yeah, it's
Oh,
freely available. Yeah,
yeah, great. Thank you. I think that's very important because we minimize the
exactly.
duplication of efforts. And
And we
finally,
really
I
want
wanted,
people to move to the other level. Yeah, yeah, yes,
yeah, sure, and it connects with the benchmarking question I was asking earlier. So
definitely.
I wanted to know, in very brief, like 30 seconds, you could respond to this. What do you think is the role of other organizations and institutions can play in making sure that there's fairness in ML model? Just 30 seconds.
Yeah, really, I advocate for capacity building, which builds awareness on proper and ethical use of these data sets and also AI in general. So I really advocate for capacity building in masses. We want to have many data scientists we can on the continent to address these challenges and develop tools.
Thank you so much, Dina. I think that one is important. We need to build the capacity in general. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this talk. If you have questions, you can still post in the chat. Not being responded, be sure that they will be sent to Dina, and Dina will be able to respond to such questions. Thank you, everyone, and happy weekend.
Thank you so much. Happy Women's Day.